Class, let's start our discussion on basic accounting. First, let's define accounting. Accounting is the process of identifying, measuring, and communicating information to help the users in their decision making. Okay, so accounting is the process of identifying, measuring, and communicating information to help the users in their decision making. So ito yung mga keywords natin. We have the process, information, and users. So later, babalikan natin yung definition of accounting. Okay? Now, to better appreciate and understand accounting, let's have an illustration. For example, class, si Mr. X. Nag-start siya ng business. Yung business niya is a milk tea shop. Ayun, nag-offer siya ng different flavors. So, merong winter melon, Oreo cheesecake, my favorite, Okinawa, ano pa, yung mga add-ons din. For example, pearls and nata. So, ang ginagawa ni Mr. X, nag-order siya ng ingredients from the supplier, and then prepare siya ng milk tea sa store niya, and then bebenta niya yan sa customers. Okay? And let's say, class, na si Mr. X, nag-open siya ng store noong January 1. From January 1 up to December 31, may mga transactions si Mr. X, nag-operate siya. So, nag-order siya from supplier, nagbebenta siya sa customers, nagbabayad siya ng mga everyday business expenses. Now, by the end of the year, December 31, kailangan ma-assess ni Mr. X yung performance ng business. Kung kumikita ba or hindi. Yan, magpe-prepare ngayon si Mr. X ng reports. Ang tawag natin sa reports na yan, these are your financial statements or your FS. Okay? Now, we have 5 financial statements. Number 1 is the balance sheet. Ang ibang tawag sa balance sheet is the statement of financial position, pero let's call it balance sheet para mas simple. Second is the income statement. Ang ibang tawag sa income statement is the statement of comprehensive income or statement of profit and loss, pero tawagin natin income statement. Number 3 is the statement of changes in equity. Number 4, statement of cash flows. And number 5 is the notes to financial statements. So again, we have 5 financial statements. And for basic accounting, mag-focus tayo on the balance sheet and the income statement. Yung other 3 na yan, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows, and notes to financial statements, i-discuss natin yan in your higher accounting subjects. Okay? Now, when you say notes to FS, ang ibig sabihin lang yung class, nandyan yung details ng other 4 financial statements. Okay? Again, yung details, nandun yan sa notes to financial statements. Now, financial statements, yun yung end goal or the final product ng accounting process. Right? Ito yung objective natin to prepare the financial statements. And in order to arrive at the financial statements, we have to undergo what we call the accounting cycle or the accounting process. Pag sinabi mong accounting cycle, actually, ito yan, sinulat ko na. Meron tayong 10 steps in accounting cycle. Ulitin ko, pag sinabi mo accounting cycle or accounting process, ito yung 10 steps na yan. Basahin natin, class, para maging familiar na tayo. Step number 1 is identifying and analyzing business transactions. Step number 2, journalizing. Step number 3, posting. Step number 4, preparing the unadjusted trial balance. Step number 5, preparing the adjusting entries. Step number 6, preparing the adjusted trial balance. Step number 7, preparing the financial statements. Step number 8, closing the books. Step number 9, preparing the post-closing trial balance. And step number 10, recording of reversing entries. So again, class, pag sinabi mo accounting cycle, dapat maisip mo na agad, yun yung 10 steps. Ano ulit yung relevance or importance of the accounting cycle? Kailangan pagdaanan natin yung 10 steps na yan in order for us to arrive at the financial statements. And yung financial statements, yun yung end goal natin in accounting. So again, meron tayong 5 financial statements. Alright? Now, like what I've said, mag-focus muna tayo sa balance sheet and the income statement. Let's start with the balance sheet. Ang tatawag ko na sa balance sheet is the BS. Okay? Pa-shorten natin yung mga names nila. For the balance sheet, this shows the strength and stability of the business. Okay? And sa balance sheet class, meron tayong 3 elements. We have the assets, we have the liabilities, and the owner's equity. Actually, ang tawag din natin dyan, yan yung accounting equation. Wherein, assets is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Alright? Now, tatandaan nyo yung accounting equation na yan. Very important yan in accounting. Laging balance dapat yan. Actually, kaya tinawag dyan na balance sheet because this equation, dapat balance lagi yan. Alright? So, isa-isahin natin class. Mag-start muna tayo sa assets. When you say assets, these are the resources of the business. Okay? Yun yung mga ownership or yung pagmamayari natin sa business. Okay? So, let's have some examples. First natin is cash. Okay? Kailangan natin ng cash. Siyempre, yan yung pambabayad natin sa suppliers natin. So, imagine yung milk tea business. Okay? Doon pa rin tayo sa milk tea. Ano pa gagawin natin sa cash? Pambabayad natin sa employees and siyempre, pansusukli natin sa mga customers. Okay? So, number 1 asset natin is cash. Now, possible din na meron tayong tinatawag na accounts receivable. Pero i-shorten na natin lang. Let's call it AR. AR, again, is accounts receivable. Let's say merong customer nag-advanced order sa atin. Let's say 10 cups of milk tea. Ayan. So, dineliver natin sa customer. Sabi ni customer, sige, babayaran natin yan. Babayaran tayo after 3 days. Okay? So, meron tayong marireceive na cash in the future after 3 days. Ang tawag natin doon is accounts receivable. Gets? Okay. Hindi pa siya cash as of now. Pero magiging cash siya 3 days from now. Alright? So, we have cash. We have AR. Next natin, type of asset is inventory. Pag sinabing inventory, ito yung binebenta natin sa customer. So, basically, sa isang milk tea shop, nagbebenta tayo ng tea and yung mga add-ons. Okay? Yun yung inventory natin. Next is we have supplies. Examples ng supplies natin. Let's say yung cup. Okay? Yung cup ng milk tea. Ano pa? Yung straw ng milk tea. Ayan. Mga supplies yan. And then we also have property, plant, and equipment, or let's call it PPE. So, property, plant, and equipment. So, ito yung mga equipment and mga machinery natin. For example, klase isang milk tea shop, yung cash register. Ayan, PPE yan. What else? Yung tables and chairs sa store. Ano pa? Let's say yung aircon. Ayan, PPE din yan. Right? So, ito yung mga examples ng assets natin. So, pag tinutal natin siya, we will get the total assets. Alright? Now, doon naman tayo sa liabilities. Pag sinabi mong liabilities, ito yung obligations ng isang business. Or utang, basically. Okay? Yun yung utang natin sa mga creditors. Let's have some examples. First example natin is accounts payable. Or let's call it AP. Okay? So, let's say, nag-order tayo kay supplier, dineliver sa atin yung ingredients ng milk tea, and then, sabi ng supplier, sige, pwede mong bayaran yan 30 days from now. Ayan, 30 days. Nasa atin na yung goods, babayaran natin 30 days from now. Ang tawag natin itong class is accounts payable. Actually, opposite siya ng accounts receivable. Accounts receivable, may marireceive ka na cash in the future. Accounts payable naman, magbabayad ka in the future. Alright? So, ayan. That's your first type of liability. Second is, let's say class, meron tayong loans payable. So, ang ginawa ni Mr. X, for example, para makapagtayo siya ng milk tea shop, nag-borrow siya sa bank. Let's say kay BDO. Ayan. So, yung utang mo sa bank, ang tawag doon is loans payable. Alright? Pag tinutal natin yan, makukuha natin yung total liabilities of the business. Alright. And last one is what we call owner's equity. Okay? So basically class, ito yung mga transactions ng owner. Sino ba yung owner natin? Well, si Mr. X. Siya yung may-ari ng business. Ang ibang tawag din dito sa owner's equity is capital. Alright? Now, tandaan nyo class na merong 4 transactions na naka-affect sa owner's equity. Mag-i-increase yan because of initial investment. Okay? Yan yung very first na investment ni Mr. X. For example, nag-invest siya ng cash sa milk tea para makapag-start ng business. Mag-i-increase dyan yung owner's equity. Makaka-decrease naman dyan yung opposite ng investment, yung withdrawal. For example, ang ginawa ni Mr. X, nag-withdraw siya ng cash, kumuha siya ng cash sa business, ginamit niya for personal use, hindi business use. For example, kumuha siya ng 10,000, pinambayad niya sa tuition fee ng anak niya. Ang tawag na doon is withdrawal for personal use yun. Mababawasan yung owner's equity. Okay? Also, makaka-increase dyan sa owner's equity yung revenues, yung mga nabebenta natin sa customers. Makaka-decrease naman dyan yung expenses. Alright, so tandaan mo lang class, sa owner's equity, merong 4 transactions na makaka-affect. Initial investment, withdrawal, revenues, and expenses. So pag total natin siya, makukuha natin yung total owner's equity. So again, accounting equation natin, assets equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Now, actually class, pag shuffle mo yung formula na yan, pwede mo rin siyang isulat as assets minus liabilities is equal to owner's equity. Tama, basic algebra. Now, ang ibang tawag sa owner's equity is residual interest. Pag sinabi mong residual, ang ibig sabihin niyan, remaining. Okay? Ganito siya, class. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung assets ng business natin, ang priority is bayaran muna natin yung mga creditors, yung mga utang natin. Pag may natira pa sa assets, yun yung mapupunta sa owner's equity or dun sa may-ari. Kaya tinawag na owners. Ibig sabihin, yan yung pagmamay-ari ni Mr. X. Kaya din ang tawag natin dyan is residual interest. Ulitin natin, yung assets, pag binayaran mo yung mga creditors, pag may natira pa, yun yung mapupunta sa may-ari. Kaya ang owner's equity, we also call it the residual interest. Got it? Okay. Now, yun yung first, the balance sheet. So, yeah. So doon naman tayo sa second type of financial statement. So again, meron tayong balance sheet and we have the income statement. So sulat natin dito. For income statement, tawagin na natin siyang IS. Okay, para i-shorten natin. So for income statement class, mini-measure naman niya yung performance of the business. So basically, titignan niya kung naging profitable yung business. Alright? So in an income statement, mag-start tayo sa sales. Okay, yun yung nabebenta natin sa customers. Ang ibang tawag sa sales, revenues. Minsan, tinatawag din siya na income. Okay, so magkakamukha lang din. Ibig sabihin niya, sales, revenues, income, yun yung nabebenta natin sa customers. Ma-minus natin dyan yung cost of sales. Ang ibang tawag sa cost of sales is cost of goods sold. Pero tawagin natin siyang cost of sales. So, ano ibig sabihin ng cost of sales? Yan yung binili mo sa supplier. Okay? So, binili natin sa supplier na naibenta mo sa customer. Okay? So, for example, class, from January 1 to December 31. Binili natin sa supplier for the whole year worth 100,000. Ang tawag natin dyan is cost of sales. And then, binenta natin sa customer yan. Siyempre, dapat mas malaking amount mo ibenta yan. For example, nabenta mo yan ng 150,000. So, yung 150,000, we call it sales. Yung 100,000, we call it cost of sales. Okay? Yung difference nila, ang tawag natin dito class is the gross profit. So in this case, 150,000 minus 100, gross profit natin is 50,000. Alright? Now, syempre may mga expenses din tayo sa business. So gross profit, i-minus natin yung lahat ng expenses natin. Ano ba yung expenses ng isang milk tea shop? Well, merong mga empleyado yan, so magbabayad tayo ng salaries expense. Salaries expense. Let's say class, yung salaries expense is 10,000. So, minus 10,000 natin. Ano pa yung expenses na isang milk tea shop? Well, meron yan water, electricity, baka may internet din. So, tawagin natin yun na utilities expense. For example, utilities expense is 5,000. Alright? What else? For example, si Mr. X nagre-renta lang siya ng place. So, meron siyang rent expense. Let's say this is another 5,000. Okay? So, gross profit minus all these expenses, ang makukuha natin diyang class is net income. Alright? Now, 50,000 minus 10 minus 5 minus 5, net income natin is 30,000. Alright? So, ang tawag natin dito class, income statement. So, again, minimeasure nyo yung performance or profitability of the business. So, in this case, naging profitable, may 30,000. So, ang mas gusto natin sa point of view ni Mr. X, mas mataas yung net income. Ibig sabihin yan, mas mataas yung or mas naging profitable yung business. Alright? Now, ang gusto naman natin class dito sa balance sheet, kung babalik tayo dito, syempre mas gusto natin, mas mataas yung assets, mas mababa yung liabilities, mas mataas yung owner's equity. Okay? Pag ganun yung scenario, ibig sabihin class, yung business natin, mas strong siya, mas stable siya. Okay? Now, take note class na yung net income na 30,000 na yan, okay? Net income, actually pupunta din siya dito. Iyan din yung revenues minus expenses. Okay? Iyan yung relationship ng balance sheet and income statement. Yung makukuha mo net income dyan, papasok yan sa owner's equity. Dito siya. Alright? Sige. Now, yan muna. So, magsagot muna tayo ng konting exercises. Apply lang natin yung concepts muna na natutunan natin so far. Alright, so let's go to exercise number 1. So, get your calculator. So, sabayan nyo ako mag-compute. Ayan. So, tingnan natin class. Exercise number 1 is about elements of financial statement. So, again, meron tayong balance sheet and meron tayong income statement. Doon muna tayo sa balance sheet. So, meron tayong assets equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. So, assets equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Ang tawag natin dito, this is our accounting equation. Alright? Now, ang requirements sa atin is fill in the amount of the missing element. So, alam lang natin class na dapat balance lagi iyan. So, for number 1, how much daw yung owner's equity? So, ang gagawin ko lang dyan, 760,000 minus 360,000. So, 760 minus 360, you have 400,000. Okay? Owner's equity natin for number 1 is 400,000. Kasi pag in-add mo yan, 360 plus 400, 760. Kaya dapat balance lagi iyan. Alright? Number 2, we have assets, 860,000. Liabilities, co-compute natin. Meron tayong owner's equity na 592,000. So, ang gagawin ko lang dyan, 860 minus 592. Okay, 860,000 minus 592. I got here 268,000. So, liabilities natin, 268,000. Alright? Now, pinapahanap sa atin yung assets for number 3. Given yung liabilities and owner's equity. So, alam natin class, yung sum ng liabilities and owner's equity, yun yung assets. So, add lang natin siya. 108,000 plus 760,000. 108 plus 760. Makukuha natin dito class is 868,000. 868,000. Alright? Now, we have assets. We have liabilities. Pinapakompute yung owner's equity. So, gagawin ko lang dyan. Ma-minus ko lang to. 626,600 minus 376,240. I got here 250,360. Alright? 250,360. And then last item, number 5. Okay, so pinapahanap sa atin yung assets. Given yung liabilities, pero yung owner's equity natin class is negative. Okay? Tama ba? 800, in this case, hindi ko siya ipa-plus kasi negative yung sign eh. So 800 minus 100, 700,000. Alright? Kasi pag in-add mo yan, okay, 800, actually minus kasi negative sign, 700,000 to. Tama? So para magbalanse sila, dapat meron tayong assets na 700,000. Okay? Now, ang lesson lang class for exercise number 1, lagi mo natatandaan na yung accounting equation natin, assets equal to liabilities plus owner's equity, laging balance yan. Alright? Sige. Now, let's go to exercise number 2. Meron tayong revenues and meron tayong expenses. So we know, kapag binigyan ka ng revenues and expenses, alam natin class na iyon yung income statement natin. Tama? So revenues minus expenses, iyon yung profit or loss. Actually, ang ibang tawag class sa net income, ang ibang tawag yan is profit. Okay? Ngayon, pag negative naman, mas mataas, for example, yung expenses mo kaysa sa revenues mo. Ang tawag natin doon is net loss or loss. Okay? Pero syempre, mas gusto natin sa business na meron tayong net income or profit. So, ulitin ko class, ang ibang tawag sa profit is net income. Okay? Magkamukha lang ibig sabihin yan. Alright. Now, we know na revenues minus expenses is equal to profit or loss. Okay? Now, kung may revenues tayo na 840, meron tayong profit na 360, how much yung expenses natin? Ma-minus ko lang yan. 840 minus 360, you get 480,000. Okay? So, 480,000. Next natin is, meron tayong revenues na 2.4 million. Meron tayong profit na 540. So, how much yung expenses natin? Ma-minus ko lang yan. 2.4 million minus 540,000. You get here 1,860,000. Okay. Next is, we have revenues 1.3 million. We have expenses 860. How much do yung profit natin? So, ma-minus lang natin yan. 1.3 million minus 860. You get 440,000. Okay. Now, pinapahanap sa atin yung revenues. Meron kang expenses, meron kang profit. So, ang gagawin ko, add ko naman yan. 2 million plus 720, you have 2,720,000. Kasi class, 2,720,000 minus 2 million is 720,000. Alright? Now, doon naman sa last item, number 5, meron naman tayong loss. Kasi negative. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung expenses kaysa sa revenues. Alright? So, ang gagawin ko dyan, ma-minus ko naman. 1.8 million minus 400,000. So, that is 1.4 million. Kasi class, pag ang nangyari dyan, 1.4 minus 1.8, ayun, may loss tayo na 400,000. Okay? Now, for exercise 1, basically, yun yung balance sheet natin. For exercise number 2, ito naman yung income statement natin. Okay? Sige. Let's go to exercise number 3. Tingnan natin class yung effects on the accounting equation. So, binigyan tayo ng 10 transactions. Titignan natin kung ano yung effect. Okay? Actually, basahin natin yung requirement. For each transaction, indicate whether the assets, liabilities, or owner's equity increased. Pag daw increase, plus lalagay natin. Pag nag-decrease, minus, or did not change. Pag walang effect, 0 lalagay natin, or O. By placing the appropriate sign in the appropriate column. Okay? So, meron tayong per transaction. Tignan natin yung effect sa accounting equation natin. Assets is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Okay? So, Mr. X had the following transactions for the month of January. Okay, so recap muna natin class, mabilis lang. Pag sinabi nating assets, ito yung pagmamayari natin sa business. Ito yung mga resources natin. We have cash, accounts receivable, inventory, supplies, and property, plant, and equipment or PPE. Pag sinabi mo liabilities, ito yung mga obligations natin, mga utang natin. So meron tayong accounts payable and we have loans payable. When you say owner's equity, tandaan mo lang na meron tayong 4 na transactions na makaka-affect dyan. Okay? So, kasi sulat natin sa owner's equity. For owner's equity, meron tayong investment. Okay? Plus yan. Okay? Minus withdrawal. Plus revenues. Minus expenses. Yung 4 na yan, tatandaan mo class, yun yung makaka-affect sa owner's equity natin. Okay? Sige. So, apply natin yan. Doon muna tayo sa transaction number 1. Paid salaries for the month of January, 54,000. Nagbayad daw tayo ng salaries, nagpasweldo tayo. Siyempre, bawas yung cash natin. Tama? Cash yan, 54,000. So, bawas agad yung assets mo kasi yung cash is an asset. Tama? Ano pa? Yung salaries, actually, expense yan. Salaries expense. Tama? And we know, pag expense, negative yan. Bawas yan sa owner's equity. Okay? So, meron tayo dito yung minus. Wala siyang effect dun sa liabilities mo. Alright? So, lagay natin O. Kasi sabi dito, pag daw walang effect or did not change, O yung ilalagay natin. Alright? So, now, take note class na sa accounting equation natin, kaya sinabi kong very important yan, is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity, dapat balance lagi yan for every transaction. Pag nag-minus ka sa assets, and then nag-minus ka sa equity, parehong side na bawasan, yung left side and right side, balance pa din yung equation. Hindi pwedeng may minus ka lang sa asset tapos walang effect dito sa liabilities and equity. Hindi pwede yun. Hindi magbabalance yan. Dapat for every transaction, balance lagi yung accounting equation natin. Okay? Sige, so practice pa tayo. Number 2, acquired equipment on account or on credit, 90,000. Pag sinabi mo equipment, di ba class, ito yung property, plant, and equipment natin. Yan yung PPE. Okay, sa milk tea business, yan yung cash register, tables and chairs, yung mga aircon, PPE yan. So, ibig sabihin, tumaas yung asset natin. So, plus tayo dyan. Pero sabi dyan, on account or on credit, ibig sabihin utang yan. Hindi cash yung pinambayad natin. Okay? Tama ba class? Kapag utang, ang tawag natin doon, yan yung accounts payable natin. Right? So, tataas yung liabilities. Walang effect sa owner's equity. Sir, paano mo nalaman na walang effect sa owner's equity? Kasi hindi naman siya pumasok sa 4 na transactions na to. Okay? Now, pag tumaas yung assets, nag-plus ka dyan, nag-plus ka din dito, balance pa rin yung accounting equation natin. Okay? Sige. Purchased supplies in cash, 3,000. Now, ano ba yung mga supplies? Sa milk tea business, well, example natin, yung cup, yung straw, yan, mga supplies yan. Asset yan, tama? Nadagdagan yung asset natin. Pero ang pinambayad mo, cash. Tama ba, class? Yung cash is also an asset. So, therefore, meron kang plus sa asset, meron kang minus sa asset. Wala siyang effect sa liability, wala ding effect sa owner's equity. Balance pa rin yung equation mo kasi nag-plus ka dito sa asset, nag-minus ka rin. So, balance pa rin siya. Gets? Okay. Doon tayo sa transaction number 4, additional investment by Mr. X, 120,000. Again, pag nag-invest, madadagdagan yung owner's equity. Alright? Now, ang invest ni Mr. X is cash, 120,000 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, tataas yung cash natin, yung asset, walang effect sa liabilities, madadagdagan yung owner's equity. Alright? Sige. Received payment for services rendered. So, nag-render ka ng services, ang tawag natin dun, class, yun yung revenues mo. Yun yung kinita mo sa business. Okay? Revenues, nag-i-increase siya ng equity natin. Receive payment, so naka-receive tayo ng cash, 18,000. Obviously, dagdag yan sa asset natin. Walang effect sa liabilities. Since revenue yan, increase yan sa owner's equity plus. Okay? Next is, number 6, made partial payment on equipment acquired on account, 30,000. Tama ba, class? Ito yun eh. Bumili ka ng equipment, utang muna. Okay? Accounts payable. Now, binayaran mo daw yung 30,000 out of 90,000. So, ibig sabihin, class, binayaran natin ng cash. So, bawas yung asset, cash. Bawas yung liability mo kasi accounts payable na bawasan eh. Tama? Owner's equity, no effect. Number 7, billed customers for services performed, 48,000. Okay, so tandaan mo, class, pag sinabi mong billed customers, sinisingil mo na si customer. Okay? Now, ang gagawin mo dyan, class, pag sinisingil mo na si customer, actually, form siya ng accounts receivable. Okay? May marireceive ka na payments kay customer in the future. So, ibig sabihin, tataas yung AR natin. Alright? Tataas yung AR, so plus yan sa assets. Okay? Now, pag binibill mo na si customer, nag-render ka na ng service, nag-perform ka na ng service, revenues na yan. Okay? So, plus mo yan sa owner's equity kasi yung revenues, nag-i-increase yan ng owner's equity. Wala siyang effect to your liabilities. Tandaan mo, class, in accounting, i-discuss natin next time yan, but in accounting, basta na-perform mo na yung services, kahit wala pang bayad si customer, considered na yun as revenues. Okay? So again, isipin mo lang pag sinabing billed. Okay? For example, class, nakaka-receive ka ng Meralco bill every month. Ayun, binibill ka ni Meralco. Dito naman, tayo naman yung nag-bill kay customer. Na-perform na natin yung services, babayaran tayo ni customer in the future. Kaya meron tayong accounts receivable, increase sa asset. Again, pag na-render mo na or na-perform mo na yung services, revenues na yan, increase tayo sa equity. Okay? Next, withdraw cash for personal use, 45,000. So again, pag withdrawal, and gagamitin niya sa personal use, yung example ko kayo na kung naalala nyo, nag-withdraw si Mr. X, pinambayad niya ng tuition fee ng anak niya, withdrawal yun. So, babawasan yung cash ng business, minus yan sa assets, walang effect sa liabilities. Again, yung withdrawal, minus yan sa owner's equity. So, minus yan. Alright? Number 9, receive payment from customers already billed. Ito, nag-bill ka ng customer sa number 7, tama? Ngayon, na-receive mo na yung payment. Okay, 9,000. Siyempre, cash yan. Tataas yung cash natin. Kaya lang, mababawasan din yung accounts receivable natin. Tama, kasi nung nag-bill ka ng customers, nag-increase yung accounts receivable mo. Ito. Nung naka-receive ka na, mababawasan yung accounts receivable mo. Therefore, tataas yung asset because of cash, bababa yung asset because bababa yung accounts receivable. Gets? Okay. So, walang effect sa liabilities, walang effect sa owner's equity. Take note, class, na yung revenues, ni-record mo na siya nung nag-perform ka ng services kahit wala pang bayad. Nung na-receive mo na yung bayad, hindi mo na ilalagay yan sa revenues kasi nalagay mo na dito. Pag nilagay mo pa dito yun, double count ka. Dalawang beses mo i-record. Hindi. I-record mo yung revenues yung time na nag-perform ka na ng services. Okay? Receive bills or utilities to be paid next month, 2,100. For example, kanina, naka-receive ka ng Meralco bill. Kasi sa number 7, tayo yung nag-bill kay customer. Dito naman sa number 10, tayo yung binil. Okay? For example, ni Meralco. So, ano yung mangyayari dyan, class? Babayaran daw next month. So, accounts payable yun. Okay? So, mag-i-increase yung liabilities natin. Yung utilities na yan, utilities expense yan. Ito. Pag expense, minus yan sa owner's equity. Actually, wala siyang effect dun sa assets natin. Alright? So, ayan. So, yun yung effects on accounting equation for each transaction. Again, ang important dito, class, for each transaction, dapat balance yung assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. Okay?